Welcome to the Money RX for CRNAs podcast, where you go behind the scenes with host Brett Fellows, CFP, as he explores the unique opportunities and challenges facing certified registered nurse anesthetists along the path to financial independence. In each episode, Brett shares expert insights and actionable advice, equipping you with the tools you need to take control of your financial destiny and retire on your terms. And now, here's your host, Brett Fellows.
Welcome to the Money RX for CRNAs podcast. Thanks for joining us. I'm your host, Brett Fellows, a certified financial planner with over 20 years of experience in guiding CRNAs through the complexities of financial planning, tax strategies, and investment management. For those of you who've tuned in before, welcome back. And for anyone who is listening for the first time, this podcast is dedicated to helping certified registered nurse anesthetists achieve financial independence and retire on their own terms. And if you'd like to receive weekly updates with recaps of the show or resources that we mention on the show, as well as some exclusive content, sign up for our Friday Blitz email newsletter. And you can do that at our website, oakcapitaladvisor.com, or by clicking the newsletter link in the show notes. And that way, once a week, you'll get an email with a recap of everything and some links to the stuff that we talk about. And we're also excited to announce that we have a new book coming out. Publishing should be finished by the end of this year, called, coincidentally enough, Money RX for CRNAs, Secrets and Strategies to Maximize Wealth and Retirement. If you would like a copy of the book, we would be honored to send you a free copy. All you have to do, we'll put a link in the show notes, is from that link, simply fill in your information and we'll be sure to get you a copy once it's been published. So today's episode is dedicated to CRNAs over age 50 who are at a pivotal stage in their careers and personal lives. You're managing a demanding schedule, you're nearing retirement, and making critical decisions about how to maximize your financial opportunities. And guess what? November is open enrollment month for most employers, which is a prime time to review your benefits for the upcoming year. So today we'll explore how to navigate this season thoughtfully, share some real-life examples, and give you actionable steps to make the most of your employer-provided benefits. So let's dive in. Now, I know open enrollment might seem routine. You click a few boxes, confirm your selections, and then move on. But it's actually one of the most impactful financial decisions you'll make all year. Your choices affect your health coverage, your taxes, retirement savings, and even how much time you can free up to focus on what truly matters to you. So this open enrollment period is your chance to ensure your benefits align with your evolving priorities. Again, be it retirement readiness or managing your healthcare costs or creating more time for yourself. So we'll start with health insurance decisions, and let's talk about one of the most powerful tools in your benefit toolkit, the Health Savings Account, or HSA. Now, while it's easy to lump it together with your other healthcare benefits, an HSA is much more than that because it's a triple tax advantaged account that can supercharge both your health and retirement strategies if used correctly. Now, an HSA is available to individuals enrolled in a high deductible health plan, or HDHP. So again, it allows you to set aside pre-tax dollars to pay for qualified medical expenses. But the real magic of an HSA lies in its triple tax advantage. So number one, pre-tax contributions. As I said, the money you contribute reduces your taxable income dollar for dollar in the year you make the contribution. Number two is tax-free growth. Investments within your HSA grow tax-free, much like a 401k or an IRA. And three are tax-free withdrawals. Withdrawals for qualified medical expenses are not taxed. For 2024, The HSA contribution limits are $4,150 for individuals and $8,300 for families, with an additional $1,000 catch-up contribution for those aged 55 or older. So if you're a CRNA with a high income, this is an excellent way to lower your taxable income while simultaneously preparing for future healthcare costs. So I think there are two main reasons why you should prioritize an HSA. And the first, again, is the immediate savings. Again, your contributions are deducted pre-tax, dollar for dollar. So if you're in a higher tax bracket, this can translate into significant tax savings. For example, a CRNA in the 24% tax bracket, contributing the family maximum of $8,300, could save nearly $2,000 in taxes annually. And the second reason is the investment growth. Most HSAs allow you to invest the funds once your balances reach a minimum threshold of usually $1,000 or $2,000. By investing these funds means you're not just saving for healthcare, you're growing another nest egg for the future. So many people think of HSAs as a spend now account, but their real power lies in its long-term planning. By paying current medical expenses with out-of-pocket dollars and letting your HSA funds grow tax-free, you can accumulate a substantial balance to cover healthcare costs in retirement, which are often a retiree's largest expense. And after age 65, your health savings account becomes even more flexible. While withdrawals for medical expenses remain tax-free always, you can also withdraw funds for non-medical expenses without penalty, though these withdrawals are taxed as regular income. We have a CRNA client, Alice. She's 52 years old. She maxes out her HSA contributions each year and invests the funds. By the time she retires at 65, her HSA account could grow to over $150,000, assuming a 6% annual growth rate. That balance can be used tax-free for Medicare premiums, long-term care insurance, or out-of-pocket medical costs. Now, there are some things to consider during open enrollment and when deciding whether or not to enroll in a high-deductible health plan with an HSA. So I'd propose that you ask yourself, 1, am I prepared for the high deductibles? So the high deductible health plan typically comes with lower premiums but higher out-of-pocket costs. So do you have enough savings or cash flow to handle those expenses up front? And 2, am I leveraging the triple tax benefits? Meaning, are you contributing enough to maximize your tax advantages while also investing for long-term growth? It's also worth noting that if your employer offers an HSA and a flexible spending account or an FSA, there are coordination rules to keep in mind. Generally, you can only contribute to a limited purpose FSA for things like dental and vision expenses, while also enrolled in a high deductible health plan that has an HSA. So, 3 takeaways for you. 1, maximize your HSA contributions, especially if you're 55 or older and eligible for catch-up contributions. 2, consider out-of-pocket funds for current medical expenses to allow your HSA balance to grow tax-free. And 3, if your HSA offers investment options, again, most do, review them to ensure you're optimizing the growth opportunities that's there. So an HSA isn't just another healthcare account. It's a very powerful retirement savings tool. So by making the most of this benefit now, you're definitely setting yourself up for a more financially secure future. Let's switch gears now to maximizing retirement contributions. Retirement planning at open enrollment is another area where small adjustments can yield you very big rewards. Meaning, are you taking advantage of your catch-up contributions? For CRNAs over age 50, this means adding an extra $7,500 annually to your 401k or 403b. And a tip for you, something that I see a lot, always check your employer's vesting schedule for matching contributions. If you're close to retirement, you definitely don't want to leave any employer dollars on the table. And we see that a lot. Now, beyond the core benefits like health insurance, retirement savings, and HSAs, let's talk about an often overlooked but incredibly value aspect of your employer's benefits package. I'll call them fringe benefits. These are the extra perks that can have a meaningful impact on your financial well being, or some perhaps your work life balance and overall satisfaction with your job. So, what are fringe benefits? Fringe benefits I'm referring to are non wage perks and benefits that employers often provide in addition to your salary. So, for CRNAs, I've seen them as student loan assistance, travel reimbursements, legal aid, fitness memberships, mental health counseling, fertility benefits, and even flexible parental leave policies. These benefits may seem minor compared to your salary, but when utilized fully, they can definitely free up cash flow and reduce some stress and provide meaningful financial and personal support. Let's start with student loan assistance. Many healthcare employers offer programs to help repay student loans, often through direct contributions or bonuses tied to service commitments. If this is a fringe benefit you have access to, there are two questions I would ask. One, is there a limit on the amount the employer will contribute annually or over time? And two, are these contributions tax free under the CARES Act provisions extended through 2025? But imagine the impact. Imagine you're a CRNA with $100,000 in student loans, and your employer offers you, say, $5,000 per year in loan repayment assistance. That's $5,000 less debt annually. But more importantly, if you combine it with your aggressive repayment strategy, you could save thousands more in interest savings. Now, as you all know, healthcare is a demanding field, and CRNAs often face burnout. Fringe benefits like gym memberships or wellness stipends or access to mental health counseling can be invaluable. And this matters because investing in your health can reduce long term medical expenses and improve your productivity while working. So look into it. Does your employer offer a gym membership reimbursement? Or are there stipends for activities like yoga, massage therapy, or meditation apps? And for CRNAs exploring fertility treatments or adoption, fringe benefits can make these expensive processes much more accessible. So, coverage for fertility treatments like IVF or egg freezing or surrogacy, or even financial assistance for adoption fees or parental leave policies. If your benefits include fertility support, the window to plan and budget for these life milestones can align with your open enrollment decisions. I've also seen legal assistance and travel benefits. So, legal aid benefits can provide access to estate planning resources, which is especially relevant for high income earners like CRNAs. On top of that, travel benefits like reimbursements for work related expenses or even relocation assistance are quite common. So, does your employer offer free or discounted legal services for will preparation or estate planning? And are there stipends for professional conferences or training that might require travel? We have a CRNA client named Sam, and he was nearing retirement, and he used his employer's legal assistance to draft an estate plan. This saved him approximately $2,000 in legal fees, and of course, ensured financial security for his family was in place. And lastly, of fringe benefits I see are what I'd call flexible or parental leave policies. So, as we know, work life balance is essential, especially as you transition toward financial independence or retirement. So, fringe benefits like flexible scheduling, telehealth access, or extended parental leave can make a very big difference. We have a CRNA client, Mary, who at age 50 negotiated a part time schedule under her employer's flexible work policy because she wanted to plan to cut back her hours. So this allowed her to ease into kind of semi-retirement while still maintaining access to her employer-sponsored health insurance. So does your employer offer pay leave or the minimum legal requirements? And are there flexible work options such as part-time schedules or remote opportunities as you approach retirement? Fringe benefits may not get as much attention as health insurance or retirement plans. I get it. But they are or can be an integral part of your total compensation package. And by understanding and utilizing them, you can definitely free up your schedule and improve your quality of life and stay on track to achieve your financial and personal goals. All right, let's transition again. Another critical area to evaluate during open enrollment is your life and disability insurance coverage. So these benefits may not be as flashy again as healthcare or retirement plans, but they definitely are essential to protecting your financial future and your family's well-being. So let's break it down. First, life insurance. Most employers do offer group life insurance, often covering, say, 1 to 2 times your salary at no cost. And while this definitely can provide a helpful safety net, you need to ask yourself, is it enough? So, when reviewing your employer sponsored life insurance options, there are a few key points to keep in mind. The first is what's known as portability risks. If your life circumstances change, like switching jobs or retiring, you may lose access to your employer provided policy. Now, this is a significant consideration for those nearing retirement, because employer plans often don't transfer when you leave the job, which means you'd need to secure coverage independently, potentially at a much higher cost if your health has declined as you've aged. And then there's coverage amounts. Many employer sponsored policies provide only basic coverage, often capped at 1 to 2 times your annual salary. Now, this may not be sufficient to cover long term expenses like a mortgage, children's education, or income replacement. So it's worth evaluating whether the employer offered supplemental insurance can bridge a gap or if a private policy is a better fit. And last is cost comparisons. Employer life insurance often appears inexpensive, but sometimes purchasing a private policy is more cost effective. For example, if you're in excellent health, a term life policy might provide more coverage at a lower cost compared to the group rates your employer negotiates. So use this open enrollment period to compare your options and crunch the numbers. So, three key questions to ask yourself in regards to life insurance. One, is your employer provided coverage sufficient for your needs? Two, how portable is this policy if you switch jobs or retire? And three, should you supplement it with a private policy for additional security? Next is disability insurance. As a CRNA, your ability to work is obviously your greatest asset. So, disability insurance is a non negotiable item. Many employer sponsored plans offer any occupation coverage, and I use quotes there. And that means you'd have to be completely unable to work in any job to claim benefits. Now, this could leave a gap in coverage if you can no longer perform your role as a CRNA, but could technically work in a lower paying job. So, here are three top considerations when it comes to disability insurance. One, the policy definitions matter. Again, your employer's disability policy might have a broad definition of disability, like any occupation, as I just mentioned. Again, this means, and I see this a lot, that you'd have to be unable to work any job to qualify. In contrast, a more tailored policy for your field may use what's known as own occupation. Now, this ensures you're covered if you can no longer work as a CRNA, but could work in another capacity. Then there's elimination periods. This is the waiting period before your benefits kick in, often 30, 60, or 90 days. If you don't have sufficient emergency savings to cover this period, you might find yourself in financial trouble before the policy begins to pay out. And third are what's known as supplemental options. If your employer-sponsored disability insurance isn't adequate, consider adding a private policy to fill in the gaps. For example, if your employer policy only covers 50% of your income, well, a private plan can boost that 50% to 70% or more. So, practical takeaways in regards to personal insurance during this open enrollment: take time to review the fine print on both life and disability insurance options. Ask yourself, does my employer's coverage meet my family's needs? Would a private policy provide better coverage? Again, this is for both life and disability. And if you're unsure where to start, reach out to a financial planner who can help you evaluate your options and design a comprehensive safety net. Life and disability insurance are often like a financial seatbelt. They're easy to overlook until you need them. But taking the time to review these benefits now during your open enrollment can save you and your family from any unnecessary hardship later. And remember, the best way to ensure that you're making the right decisions is to work with a financial planner who can tailor these benefits to your unique situation. Let's protect the life you've built while planning for the future you deserve. All right, to wrap this up, now that we've covered the possibilities, here's a simple checklist to make the most of your open enrollment season. 1, review your current benefits. Assess what worked well this year and what didn't. 2, evaluate your health plans. Compare your premiums, deductibles, and out-of-pocket maximums. 3, maximize tax-advantaged accounts. Consider contributing to your HSA, FSA, or dependent care accounts. 4, check retirement contributions. Make sure you're taking full advantage of employer matches and catch-up contributions. And 5, ask about additional perks. Wellness programs, legal assistance, and tuition benefits could save you time and money. And remember, you don't have to navigate this alone. Reach out to a financial advisor or use your employer's resources to ensure you're making the best decisions. Thanks for joining me today on Money RX for CRNAs. I hope this episode helps you feel more confident about your benefits and your financial future. And if you're ready to take control of your finances and free up time for what matters most to you, let's connect. The best way? You can schedule a complimentary pre-op call with me directly at oakcapitaladvisors.com. Click the complimentary pre-op assessment, and you can schedule time with me directly on my calendar. Until next time, I'm Brett Fellows, reminding you that every financial decision you make is a step towards financial freedom. Have a great day.
This podcast is for informational and entertainment purposes only. It should not be relied upon as a basis for investment decisions. This podcast does not engage in rendering legal, financial, or other professional services.